Greetings, or could you? This is Narigo country and a beautiful landscape behind me. And you can see the snowy mountains and Lake Jindabyne. I want to share with you a matter of land ownership, land tenure and purchase and acquisition in Australia. We have been established as a British colony, so in turn we've inherited the land tenure system that was established in England and has continued throughout the colonies that England and the monarchy has established. So today I can buy land, I can purchase, and the receipt of that purchase or the proof of that purchase is a land titles. Now, I might say that the land is mine and the house and the assets and all that are mine, but they are subject to federal, state and local laws. If you're old enough and you have some experience, there's no surprise to you. So, for example, for the benefit of everyone, someone can't use a residential property for certain activities. Let's say if someone wanted to establish an area that was commercial or a business or a farming opportunity, they would be beholden to the conditions of the Development Control Plan as administered by the local council. Likewise, the interaction with the broader matter of the state, there's also state agencies and state laws, government departments that we need to adhere to. Some cases there are farmers out there that have experienced that if infrastructure is going through their land, that project land can be acquired, and hence the farmer or the landowner can actually be remunerated in regards to an assessed value of that land. So in a way, land ownership is a bit of a misgiving in Australia. It was established so that we would have a title, a right of occupation. So this has been a continuation of the English system with us being in a colony. So when England first sent out Captain Cook in order to seek out the Great Southern Land and seek an opportunity for a penal colony, there were three ways that a sovereign company could claim sovereignty over another land, and that through international law is either you go to war, and a war would mean that the conquered people would receive a portion of that land in order to sustain themselves, or go into a treaty, and that is a contracted sort of relationship between the two parties, and that's negotiated. And the third one is terra nullius. And terra nullius, if you're from Australia and you know a little bit about our history, is a declaration that the land is not inhabited and there is no sovereign people here. So this situation, unfortunately, fortunately, however you want to look at it, was the state of the claim of the monarchy and the sovereignty of England over Australia. So, of course, there was people here, and Mabo proved that there was a administration, land ownership, and a land management for his mob up at Far North Queensland, and it has continued over the nations that occupy the continent of Australia. So we know that in Australia now that Indigenous people do have rights, and in response to the Mabo case, the government has sought to set out this matter of native title. Native title will give the traditional owners, if they can prove continual occupation of the land, access to that land, that they can continue their cultural and traditional ways. However, that will be subject to the conditions of the government that they have no longer have interest in that land. So if a government does decide in order to develop that land or to mine that land, the people can still be taken off. So it's a little bit of a token ability, and it really doesn't account for people that were stolen in the stolen generation or forced off the land in regards to the poor condition of the traditional people. So we have a situation where there is a partial and conditional sort of opportunity for Indigenous Australians to have care over their land. What it hasn't addressed was the matter of allodial sovereignty. Allodial sovereignty is an unusual term, and you may not be familiar with it, but it pretty much declares an understanding that the land was gifted by the Creator, and the Creator has administered laws and matter of caring for country with that. So the people have carried on this way in order to have this long history. Now, allodial title or allodial sovereignty is not like the English system where you have a title and it just is for that occupation on top of the land. Allodial sovereignty and allodial title goes to the core of the country, like goes right down to the centre of the earth and up into the atmosphere. Under Indigenous law, country is like a family relative, like a mother. So you will find traditional people speaking of their love to country and their care of country and wanting to look after the interests of country as they would look after their mother. So consequently, if someone needed something, they would go to their mother, and the mother would offer them food when they were a child, or comfort or medicine and that sort of thing. So Indigenous people have carried that same way. In our society, we are familiar with, like, for example, blood transfusions. If I was a particular blood type, my mother was a blood type, and there was an opportunity that she could help my health, and I would ask her if she would offer me that help, and according to her discernment over the situation, she would respond. So likewise, Indigenous people would ask country, and this exercise of care and respect of country hasn't continued, unfortunately, with the current land management. So country not only refers to the plants, the animals, the soil, the water, but also includes the seasons, it includes the air, it includes the microbes, everything that we would know in the part of ecology of the living and the non-living, and the processes that are involved in maintaining that. So there is an understanding that everything has rights and everything needs to be cared for. So this is allodial sovereignty, and the traditional way of Indigenous people would care for country.